So by the way, chalo, let's do a quick drive, ठीक है? So before getting started, so some of you guys are अपने पुराने खिलाड़ी, तो क्या चल रहा है तुम लोगों की लाइफ में? It's been long time, ठीक है? So first of all, let's start with. By the way, chalo, let's do a quick drive. अरे. So okay, yeah. So ठीक है. First of all, एक एक करके we'll start checking. Okay, Shenu. So what are you doing right now? Shenu.
Sir, actually, I came to my room just now.
अरे इतना जस्ट नाउ वाला नहीं यार, लाइफ में अभी क्या चल रहा है? यू गॉट अ जॉब, अभी जस्ट नाउ घर आ गया, अभी दोपहर में क्या खाया वो नहीं जानता है. So what are you doing? Are you working? Still job hunting? What's happening?
Yes, I'm working on actually.
Okay, unmute yourself, Shenu, and let's start.
Yes, I'm working on as a application analyst. I got placed Holy Crypto.
Okay, so already started working there?
Yeah, no, sir. Actually, I'm under the training.
Okay, ठीक है. तो you joined the company, you are under training. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the probation period.
Okay.
Yeah.
ठीक है. तो you got the job, you are in probation period, under training right now. After that it will start. Okay, ठीक है. तो शेनु की तो लग गई गाड़ी. ठीक है. निगार, what are you doing?
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Yeah, what's happening, Nigar? Yes. What are you doing?
Recently, I have attended GATE examination, but I don't know whether it will be qualified or not. I'm not sure that.
Okay, let's see. So you're trying for GATE right now, huh? Okay. Yes, ठीक है. Result कब आने वाला है? What's the date?
17th of March.
17th of March. Okay. ठीक है. 20 days. Okay, ठीक है. Let's see what happens. What is the back? ठीक है, जाने दो, दूसरा बात नहीं करते. Backup plan नहीं देखते आगे क्या करेंगे. ठीक है. Okay, so you are waiting for that. Okay, Alok, what's happening in your life?
सर मेरा एक एग्जाम रह गया है, तो उसके लिए चल रहा है अभी.
अच्छा.
और हाँ, लॉकडाउन की वजह से वो नहीं हुआ ना.
हाँ.
तो 2021 से मतलब अब तक एक्सटेंड ही हुआ अब तक, मतलब.
अच्छा, वो एग्जाम वापस से लगा ही नहीं वो लोग ने.
हाँ.
तो अभी when it is going to happen? कब?
वो तो पता ही नहीं, मतलब मैं लगता है.
अरे बाप रे बाप, बेचारा लटक गए. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. It will start back. ठीक है. Fine. So you are still doing for that and job hunt and all. How is you are doing training right now? What's happening?
नहीं सर, अभी एक प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं.
प्रिपरेशन चल रहा है. ओके. ठीक है. तो एग्जाम का तो देख लो, साथ में फिर इवन करियर एंड जॉब पे भी फोकस इट. ठीक है, फाइन. अखिला, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग इन योर लाइफ?
It's good, sir, but little changes happened recently. I got something injured, so I'm not able to do work. Abhi, I have to go again hospital and has to do. Yes, sir. Can you hear my voice, sir?
Yeah, your voice is not that clear.
4 days back, I got some injury, so to back.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Okay, you got some injury, so right now you're not able to focus much, huh? Okay. ठीक है. Focus it, get well back quickly, and उसके बाद वापस शुरू करते हैं. ठीक है. By the way, you are still in job hunting phase right now, is it?
Everything has completed. To mark what things has to do better, but how to we get back.
Okay. ठीक है, आ जाएगा. एक पे फोकस करके get it through. ठीक है. श्रुति, what's happening in your life? Shruti.
Right now, I am doing software testing classes.
Okay.
Still going on manual completed and automation will start.
अच्छा, manual completed, automation start. Okay, and when are you going to start the job hunting?
What, sir?
When will you start the job hunting as a tester?
March onwards, I will start.
सही है, 1st March से you'll start. Very nice. ठीक है. Jaideep, what's happening with you? Jaideep?
What?
Jaideep. Hello, Jaideep.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, क्या चल रहा है भाई?
सही, इंटरव्यू स्टार्ट कर दिया है.
Okay. So ठीक है, तो preparation हो गया. Now you started with giving interviews.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many interviews already have you faced?
2, 3.
Through 3. ठीक है, तो learn from every interview and I think जितने ज्यादा से ज्यादा keep applying, keep giving interview, eventually तो हो जाएगा कहीं.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ठीक है, fine, sounds good. And I think yes, some of the guys are new. Nikhil is new, Deepak is new. बाकी there are few are old as well. ठीक है, करते. Now we'll come back. बोलोगे नहीं तो खाली update चल रहा है. Rest of the people will touch base tomorrow. Okay. Fine guys, so let's get started with the day 2 of our workshop. It's going to help us with our career building activity. So today's session is going to focus on how you should perform at work on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so yesterday it was much about the mindset and stuff like that, but as part of today we are going to focus on how you should act on a day-to-day basis in your work. Okay, and there are going to be multiple things which we will discuss today, so I have made some bullet points for that as well. Okay, one is how you should interact and do work on the day-to-day job. That is one. Okay. Next we are going to discuss on the value of process. Next we are going to discuss about your people do a lot of good work, but how do you showcase it properly so that you can get more value out of the work? And because once you showcase it nicely, then more opportunities will be created for you in the industry. So we are going to focus on that. And we will be discussing about one system which many people don't apply at work. But if you really do that, you will be getting very good hikes and very nice promotions. It's a wrapper system, but not many people are doing it. Okay? And maybe if your manager does not take that, install that system at work, so you have to do it for your own self. So you can also drive it. Okay? So don't wait for others for creating that opportunity. You can create that opportunity for yourself. Okay? So we are going to do all these kind of discussions as part of today's session. Okay? Now let's get started. Okay, just give me a minute guys, just 1 minute. Okay, okay, let's go then. Okay, so yeah, make some notes about it. The recording will anyways be available, so you can go through it again as well. But the first thing guys, okay, yesterday we spoke about 4 layers. Okay, ki A, B, C, D. This is how a person can be classified. And just meeting the expectation belongs at the C level. That means people can be there, people cannot be there. It's fine. Okay, matlab, even if somebody who is meeting the expectation of a project, it's like even if those people are removed from the system, then also the system works properly. So your basic impact is not there on the system. Okay, that's the C category people. But yesterday we discussed we should belong in the A and the B category, matlab doing something beyond expectation and then trying to be the A players, like the in-demand people. And those who belong in the A and the B will get good promotions, hikes, and every of those things. Rest of the people ko average rehta hai. This is how it works. Now the thing is, in order to belong in the A and the B category, you need to know first of all what is expected from you. Okay, because otherwise what will happen is if you don't know that expectation, even though you perform beyond that, everybody will say you are meeting expectation. So first of all, because you go to your manager and you like even outperform it, the manager will be like, hey, that is expected from you. Okay, so first of all, so you should not start working directly as hard as possible in the industry. Okay, because no matter how great you work, they will be like, this was expected from you, and you belong in the C category in that case. So first of all, you need to reach out to your manager whenever you join any project, any company. You reach out to your manager and ask ki, what is expected out of me. Okay, and do a nice discussion there. Okay, if like 2-3 times follow up karo, arrange a meeting of 30 minutes and ask ki, bhai, okay, I am at so and so role. Be it as a fresher you are getting in or as the experienced people, talk to your manager, what is my expectation, what are you expecting out of me first. Okay, discuss it then to and fro. Aise nahi ki usne, he says something, you just take it. Try to discuss, try to understand ki what is he really expecting. If you have questions, ask questions, and then get a final summary ke this is what is expected from you. Okay, sometimes it might not conclude in single call, 2-3 call ho jayenge, so yes, do that. So and once you get that, Okay, so this is where it becomes important. You take all that understanding and summarize it in email and drop it to the manager. Guys, follow this. You will find कि बहुत progress करोगे life में. You will really grow very huge in life. Okay, so discuss with manager. Once you have the understanding of what is expected from you, write it in email and then publish it to the manager. Okay, this is step number 1. We are trying to install a system. If you do it, you will be getting more promotions, more hike in a quick period of time compared to your other team members. Okay, and maybe most of the projects managers do not take the initiative, so you have to do it for yourself. So that is step number 1, defining the expectation and then summarizing it in the email. Okay, now once that work is done, देखो guys, we are trying to be at the best. So डरने से nothing is going to happen. If you stay afraid and if you have that fear कि I cannot meet these expectations, so it's a problem in us where we have to work and overcome that. Okay, now your day-to-day basis plan should be whatever is expected out of you, you should do that as your bare minimum. Okay, so you should not be a low performer. If you are not meeting the expectation, uske baad you belong in the D category, matlab better to remove you from the system. So you should have that day-to-day activity कि I should bare minimum meet these expectations. But your goal setting, your focus should always be how I can make it better, even though the manager is not expecting something from me, but how can I achieve that? Okay, and guys, I'm telling you, don't consider your current package and all that. Don't try to consider any negative thoughts. Others are not working, these people are not working. It's you, it's your life. Get your expectations, and you should always, bare minimum, you should meet those expectations, and then you think how you can get better, how you can over deliver. Okay, and once you start over delivering, so that's the second point. Okay, on a day-to-day basis, okay, you have to meet the expectation. Now you have to judge yourself. If you're not meeting the expectation, what you should do, how you should learn more, grow more, do more. So if you see, so this is expectation bar. If you are underperforming, so you should measure yourself on a daily basis, weekly basis, and do something by which you again grow. And if you don't know what you should do in order to grow, again discuss with your manager. Hey, I'm struggling here, can you please guide me how to grow? Or there will be other senior members in the team, ask them how to grow, but do something. So by that way you start meeting the bar. Okay, now the thing is, once you have met the bar, so okay, so that's the second step, meeting that expectation. Okay, write it down as the second step is meeting that expectation. So first people would have to put efforts for that. Okay, now the third step is, with a cool mind, you need to think how you can exceed these expectations, what you should do in order to cross these expectations. Ke people in the system will feel, wow, okay, great, we have Tausif with us. And that wow factor will come only when you do something extraordinary. Okay, so that comes as a step number 3. You need to sit with a cool mind and identify, okay, these are my expectations, but what can I perform beyond this so that my value will grow in the system? Okay, and that might need some research. It will not come just by your brain. Maybe you have to Google it a bit, study the job descriptions of the people, see what your seniors do in the system. And by all these observations, the step number 3 is you need to define exceeding expectation bracket for you. Okay, guys, it's very important. It's a simple strategy. It will take efforts, hard work will be required, but if you simply follow the system, hikes will come guaranteed. It's that obvious. Okay, now the thing is, okay, so now moving on forward, the next thing is, once you know the next level expectation, okay, once you know the next level expectation, again it comes the same. Okay, for meeting them, you might need more trainings, more like day-to-day practice. So you need to again start working on the plan, okay, how you can grow and meet that expectation. Okay, it might be you're not ready for that, but you have to work hard. By that way, you will grow as an individual, and then over a period of time, you will start meeting it. Okay, so that's what it is. If you're underperforming, you need to work more hard to meet it. And now, if you have set up more expectations, you need to work more hard to start achieving it. Okay, by that way, this is the first 3 steps of the system. Okay, like actually, third is defining the extra like more over expectation. Fourth step will come like preparing to meet that expectation. Okay, so write down this fourth is, again, it will need preparation. All of a sudden magic will not happen. You need to prepare, maybe take some additional courses, maybe talk to other seniors of your team, do something, maybe parallel projects or POCs by which you will do this fourth step. Then you will meet the exceeded expectation category. Okay, now comes the fifth step, and this is very important. No matter what you do as part of these three, but fifth one is very important step. This is where the value will be created for getting a bigger hikes. Okay, now the thing is, okay, on every month basis or 2 months basis or quarterly basis, 3 months, okay, you need to arrange a one-on-one call with your supervisor or your manager to discuss your progress. Okay, now where you take all of this data which you have. Okay, dekho, we had a call, so it's completely up to you. What do you find comfortable? Either every month you should do that discussion, or every 2 months you should do that discussion, or every quarter you should do that discussion. Why people don't get a proper hike in the end of the year? Because they do that discussion only once and they don't have the data to talk about. If you have this data and then you improve or increase the frequency of discussions with your manager, your supervisor, the person who is in charge of giving you hikes and all, you should have talk with them, not somebody else. Okay, the person who will actually give you hikes, you should have direct conversations with those people. Okay, and if there is a chain of hierarchy, so whoever can influence that decision, you should have, like, whoever the person in power, you should spend time with that guy, otherwise you're wasting your time. Okay, those who can really give you hikes, you should try to have these one-on-ones with them. So every month or every 2 months or every quarter, 3 months is also fine, but you should push, and no matter how busy those people are, arrange that 30 minutes meetup. Okay, and in that 30 minutes you take all of this information which you have collected as part of step 1 to 4. Ki dekho, earlier we had our conversation, you said this is the expectation, I feel that I am already meeting this expectation, but what is your opinion? Then he will say, yeah, you're meeting this, or this is a problem, that is a problem. So like, accept it. If he says you're not meeting it, ask you, okay, what am I not meeting? Okay, so next time when you meet, you again say, okay, now I did that also. Okay, and by that way you will then eventually he will come on the same page. Okay, yes, you are meeting my expectation. Okay, but then you should say, I have even set something beyond your expectation, but I want to grow personally, so I've even set up that, and this is how I'm preparing for doing that. Okay, and in that conversation itself, ask him also some suggestions. Okay, what do you think I should do more, which is something beyond my expectation? He might also give you some guidance. And now in that thing, you even show how you're progressing with that. And just this kind of a review call with your supervisor who has the power of hikes, doing it multiple times throughout the year, will guarantee that when the year end happens, you will be like, hey, come on, you told me since past 2-3 reviews that I was always meeting expectations. So now how can you say that I'm not meeting? Okay, so he will not have a reason to not give you a good hike, because you have already met your expectation. And not just meeting, you're growing every review by review, you are setting up more expectations. That is where even quarterly is a bit delay. If you can have these reviews every 2 months basis, it is going to be very good. So you will get 6 opportunities of growth every year. And mostly initially 3-4 reviews might be a problem, but after that you will guaranteed be meeting expectation and even exceeding expectation. You will guaranteed belong in the B category, somebody who is beyond the expectation. And let me tell you, I have not seen people driving this for themselves. So it's very much possible in whatever project you are the guy who will be applying the system, but by the end of the year you belong in that special category, and then you will be getting like good hikes compared to rest of your team members. The another problem, okay, while you're trying to do all these things, you never know if you are really thinking very smart and very challenging targets for yourself, you might just become the A-star player of the team as well. Okay, and if you become that, that's it. People will like want to have you no matter what. They will be ready to pay you even extra, promote you, do whatever it is. Okay, so that's it. Apply this simple system. So step number 5, write down step number 5 is every 2 months review with your supervisor to check your progress. Okay, step 5 is every 2 months review with your supervisor. They will accept it. You just say, hey, I want to have a one-on-one call. I just needed to discuss how my performance is going. Okay, simply ask this. They will be like, now I'm busy. So follow up 2-3 times. They will eventually say, okay, so next week so and so time we will do it. Follow up. Because jab tak kaam, till the time your work is not done, you need to follow up and get your work done. If you work like this in the industry, everything is going, because you're doing something for your growth, for the project's growth. Okay, so fine. So this system, if you implement, automatically your value will grow in the system. Your knowledge will grow because you're putting efforts. Dekho guys, iska downside is also there. Downside is there. You ask for expectation, and now it's like you're not able to meet the expectation also. तो वो बोलेगा भाई तो इसको ही meet नहीं किया चलो बाहर. So downside is there. But there's some kind of risk is required in life. If you are scared of growth, nothing will happen in the industry. If you're scared of growth, better, like, that job is not for you in that case. Okay, be ready to work as hard as you can, as smart as you can, but try to grow. Just because what will happen if you're scared and not asking the expectation? Okay, so just know it, by the end of the year you will not get a good promotion, you'll not get a good hike, because you did not grow, you were scared of growth. And if you're that person, life is problem. Okay, so understand, very important thing, understand it nicely and implement it. And whatever we speak as part of a life transformation program and all that, it's like putting efforts, growing and earning the position, not hacking it. You become somebody and then the world will give you that. This is how it works. Okay, so this is the first system. Think about it cleanly. It's easier said than done. It would need effort, it will need time, but eventually it works. And it will work for like as long experience as possible. Okay, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, you can apply till that time. Okay, now the thing is, as your experience starts growing, you need to change the discussion. You need to have reviews with your supervisor, but the discussions should change. You should define your own expectation. You should not ask for expectation. That's maturity. So once you're growing 4 years experience, 6 years experience, 8 years experience, you should go with a proposal to your manager. Hey, I am at this role. I am assuming that these are my expectations. Am I right? Or are you even expecting something more from me? That shows more maturity and more experience. Okay, then he might add more. And then you say, now I'm planning to work on this as my next level. Is that fine? Or like, do you want to even contribute here? So you be on the proactive nature. Don't ask. If you are like 4 years, 6 years, and you're asking, what is my expectation? It shows ki lack of maturity. Okay, these are very small things. But if you really apply it nicely, as junior, ask, as senior, say, and then he will contribute, add more, and then keep going. Okay, so this is system number 1. You do this consistently, you will realize every year your growth will be better than other people. And because you're doing this, because you're growing, you will be getting promotions, you will be getting more hikes, and you will be growing. That's most important. Okay, and a combination of this, you multiply it with years, your rapid fire growth will happen. This is step number 1. Okay, now the second, okay, you should make sure 0 to 4 years from fresher to the second learning. So first learning done, install the system. Now the second learning, ensure 0 to 4 years of experience, work as hard as you can. Don't care about anything, be ready to put as maximum efforts, as maximum learning, discuss with people. Don't hold yourself back in the 0 to 4 years of experience. Many people go wrong here in the IT industry. They relax in the beginning of their careers, and those who relax, for them, I have seen the entire future becomes very shaky. A strong building can be there only with a strong foundation, and foundation is your beginning time of the industry. Okay, because what will happen is, as soon as you cross 4 years, 6 years, the market expectation changes from you. We need very good people there. And if you have wasted your 0 to 4 years experience, you will not be able to justify the high rising demands of the market. Fir market mein, guys, again going to the same statement, with 2 years of experience, 15 lakh packages are there. With 2 years of experience, 2-3 lakhs packages also there. Now, if you don't really grow, you will end up in a company or a project when there is less salary. If you have really grown nicely, you will get more opportunities from the market. Okay, so market is all there, companies are all there, and right now it's even growing. The pay scale is rising like anything. Okay, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs is becoming a very average these days. If you have like 4 years, 5 years of experience, market is giving that. Okay, so just be ready to receive and put your best shots for going there. Okay, that's the second learning. 0 to 4 years, full force effort, full force, no holding back, not getting in such circles which will like pull you back in your life. Don't hang out with such people who are not thinking of growth and who believes in wasting time and all that. Don't hang out with such people, because if you have a slow start, your foundation of the career will be weak and you will struggle going down. Okay, because वहां पे जाके फिर नहीं देखो, and such will be the people who will play politics, because they are not really good at what they do and they want to survive in the industry. The brain is smart. If they are not good in what they do, they go to the other side, they try to play politics, they don't give opportunities to other people, and all that drama starts happening in the company. They take credit of somebody else's effort. So because yes, they have to also survive, but that's a very bad way of living. Okay, so you be a good product of the industry and grow in that direction. Okay, that's the second learning. Okay, so apply and you will experience the difference. Okay, now another thing you need to understand, let's say there is a cricket game happening, or any sport for example. Okay, any sport for example, basketball chal raha hai, polo chal raha hai, whatever, any sport, let's say cricket game. Okay, now let's say a one day is happening. So for a one day, the team comes and they are actually fighting it on the ground, like scoring and trying to win. That's what is the game. Every match that you see, regardless of what sport, it's like performing there for a win. Okay, but the thing is, for performing that match, they have done a lot of practice behind the screen. Guys, understand this. Minds are blocked for many people in the industry. You need to open it up, think broad. Okay, so the people are actually performing that one day game, that's execution, but for playing that one day, they have done a lot of hard work, net practice, this, that, morning till evening, going for this, like diets and blah blah blah, a lot of practice, and then they come to perform in this match, and then they win based upon how much practice a people has done in the past. Yes or no? This is how it works. Without practice, if they directly come for the game, they will anyways fail. Now you need to open up your mind. When you go to work every single day, okay, you are actually playing that one day game. You are executing, you are performing. What customer wants is application. Application has to be developed. You are executing it. Okay, there will be so much tight timelines that you will not get enough time to learn. You will not get that much time because there is tight timeline. Feature scopes, ETAs, estimations, sprint scope, deliveries, everything will be very tight. You will not find additional time for learning in that working hours. Okay, and then people assume, oh, this is my job to just work at this time and rest of the time I will chill out. That's the wrong mindset which people have. You need to understand, you are not practicing to perform your best. Without net practice, you are just playing on a day-to-day basis, and you need to understand, without preparation, you will always be average. You cannot win. You cannot win because the playing time itself, you are saying you are preparing time, your growth rate will drastically fall. If in the same working time you start learning, you will not be able to add value to your delivery. You will consume more time, and then you will tell to your manager, I was learning also. They are like, come on, customer is waiting for the product, you're learning, do it separately. We want application to be built up. Okay, so understand this mindset. If in the working time you're spending too much time to learn, you will have a logical explanation, but it doesn't work like that. You will not be able to perform to your fullest. You will always forever stay average, and your performance will keep dropping down. Now, what does this mean? You need to put special efforts for preparation. And for many projects, it will not belong as part of your working times. You need to do something extra from the other hours which are available, because again, going back to the mindset, you work only for yourself. You're not working because your project is getting benefited or your manager is getting benefited. You should work for yourself so that you grow. And when you grow, your project grows, your manager grows, your client grows, everybody is happy. So what matters in the end is your growth. So understand that. And if you are about to grow, you need to allocate more time for your growth. You cannot complain ki bhai, I am already working 8 hours, 9 hours a day. Why should I put more efforts for my growth? It doesn't make sense. If you want to grow, you have to grow beyond these boundaries. And now here is where it is optional. Some people will say, yes, I want to grow. Daily, they will allocate 1 more hour for additional growth apart from project time. Such people will start growing more compared to other people of the industry. Some people will like, no, I'm not going to put additional efforts. Why should I put? I'm already doing my job. I want to have a nice, comfortable sleep at home. Such people will not grow then, because they will perform always mediocre. So understand this. You need to put more efforts, additional efforts in preparation apart from your working. Okay. And spend, I would highly recommend every weekend 4 hours. Every weekend. Weekend is like a blessing. Even if you enjoy the entire weekend, still 4 hours you can really work very nicely every weekend. 4 hours of efforts for your growth, technical growth. Learn more, read blogs, build up some applications, read about open sources, do something which helps you in your technical career, no matter how much great experience you're having, like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter, but enhance your knowledge. Every weekend 4 hours mandatory. On top of that, if on a daily basis you can spend even 30 minutes to 1 hour, it is going to have a huge impact in a long run. But let's say daily you are very busy, your offices are overflowing, you don't have time, it's fine, but weekend ka 4 ghanta to mandatory karo. Lock your time, maybe 10 to 12 every Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 12 or sometime during the day, but don't waste your weekend without growth. It is going to impact you in a long run like anything. Okay, so that's the next learning. Invest more time in preparation. Invest more time in preparation. Every weekend 4 hours should be invested in your technical growth. And that is how your career you will be able to grow beyond. Why? Because what will happen is, with this career growth, when you're having day-to-day interactions at work, you will talk more maturely, because you have learned something which other people are not learning. Automatically you will start like being recognized, and it just has a great impact. People don't know the value of like constant learning and growing. That's where they get limited. New ideas will also not come. But if you're growing on a weekly basis, 3 months down the line, you will have so much knowledge in your head. You have seen about how Facebook system evolves, how Google system evolves, what are the challenges which people face in the industry, what are the best practices of design, how you can make your application modular. And that knowledge, IT wants such people. And it will not come by working on a day-to-day job, because you work very limited on a day-to-day job, same project, same features. You need to do something beyond that, then the growth happens. So very important. It is a differentiator why people become successful and why not. It's a massive differentiator. Okay, fine, chalo ye wala bhi ek ho gaya. Okay, now another thing, while you are working on a day-to-day basis, okay, now the next system which you need to install in your life, while you are working on a day-to-day basis, okay, few things you need to make sure. Without clarity, don't start with your coding. That means don't get into work if you're not clear with something. Okay, there is a very big problem if rework is happening. You have invested your time and efforts, and then again rework happening. It will spoil the time, it will affect the delivery, everything will be problematic. If you, let's say, take 3 days for completing some work, and then somebody says, no, it is wrong, you need to correct it, and then you take 2 more days, you have ended up delaying your delivery, the quality is affected, the tester is getting the work later, everything is gone for toss. So the rework should always be avoided. So one of the main problem why this happens, because people are not very clear in the beginning and with limited understanding they start developing it and they create a mess there, and then people say this is wrong, you have to recorrect it, and then the problems start coming. So the first step is, okay, you should work only when you are clear with what is the requirement. Okay, now let's go through the process of the IT industry, like how you should work with this process. Okay, step number one, somebody will come with the requirement. So pehla ye understand kar lo guys, don't start writing it down. First just cool mind se understand what we are trying to say. After that we'll draw some bullets about it. Okay, because it will be a lot of information pumped up to you guys. Okay, step number one, somebody will come with requirements to your team. Okay, generally in the agile world it is the product owner. He comes with some requirements in the form of like Jira tool or some other like Asana tool will be there, or Microsoft Planner will be there, different company, different tools. So the product owner, the person who gives the requirement, he will come and he will then write the requirement in some tool. Okay, and then this requirement will be explained to you guys. Now you need to make sure that there will be some projects where they come in for explaining the requirement, but they don't write the requirements in ticket properly. Ticket is nothing but Jira. So the requirements are not written properly. It's very like few bits and pieces here and there. They come, they explain. The problem with that is people will forget. Okay, so this is where there is a minor corrections you need to install in your day-to-day work life. Step number one, you need to ask the product owner ki bhai, whatever requirement you are going to give us, write it in detail in Jira. And you should convince your manager ki bhai, if these requirements are not there, I will not take up this work. Somehow manager ko friendly karke, it's not boycotting, but convince your manager ki bhai, we should not take the work if the requirements are not there. And it is the job of the product owner to write the requirements. Dekho, point is, if you entertain not having requirements, people will also misuse the system. They will be like, "Arey, these people don't ask now, why should I put my efforts in writing? Let me go and explain." And guys, I have seen for many projects, many situations, if it is only verbally explained, people will forget. You will miss some functionality, you will miss some requirement, and when their application goes to the further QA and UAT phase, there is going to be a lot of chaos, because there is no single source of truth ke what is being developed. It's only verbally discussed. Okay, so the step number one, okay, first understand, don't write it down, you can make notes of all these later. So step number one is you should work with your leads or managers and convince them ki bhai, as step number one, we need to have the requirements written properly in Jira. And if it is verbally being explained, it's not going to work. It will cause a lot of problems. So fix the core root cause, everything else will be nice. That is step one. Okay, Abhi, now write down the step one. The requirement should be written in Jira tool and given to the technical team. So if it is not happening in your project, that means it's a problem in your project. So we need to do something for making it happen. Even as a fresher, verbally things will be missed out, guys. Okay, so step number one is the requirements should be written in Jira kind of tool. And it is not your job, it is the job of your product owner. So you have to push them. In our project, like my CEOs and my some other like other big people of the company, they said ki, okay Tausif, you just hold this line, if the requirements are not ready, we are not going to develop this. You hold this line, just say it's not ready for development, so we cannot develop this, you take it back. So that's the step number one. Okay, step number two, written requirements. While typing, misinterpretation can happen. That is where, even though the requirement is written, they should, second step, get in a call and explain the requirements to you guys. By that way only clarity will come. So before okay, so as soon as the requirement they write as the step one, step number two, they come and they get in a call and explain you guys the requirement. So that step has to happen. Okay, many projects may they will be like, oh, we have written it now, you read it, understand it, if you have questions, ask. Don't do that. It will cause a lot of problems. You might miss it. It's all going to add a lot of burden and the headache in the project. You should again convince your manager, by requirements are written, let's get in a call, and as part of that call, he should again explain you what is expected out. Okay, you read it, that's fine, but ask him to explain it once again, So that will be a more better way. And then it is like officially, okay, he has given the requirements to you guys. Okay, now the step, okay, write down the second number step. Okay, having a clarification call, having a call, basically, not clarification call. People call it refinement call or grooming call, whatever it is. Okay, there is a terminology in IT. Having a requirement clarification call, having a requirement clarification call with the product owner. That has to happen. Don't avoid these steps. Okay, after a lot of struggle of lot of projects, I have like drawn, okay, these are must haves in the project. You cannot skip it. Okay, yeah, have that call. Now next, once it is done, you need to make sure that you completely understand the requirement. So you have to read it again now, very detailed. Whatever he said, you have to understand it, and then try to come up with more questions. Okay, come up with more questions. If you have any doubts, you discuss internally with your team. So nothing but after giving it to you guys, there will be a doubts and a clarification phase. Okay, so sometimes that's where in one meeting itself everything will not happen. You have to again, like, there will be follow-up meetings where you get your doubts clarified. So you should ask questions. Without questions, you will miss out. To write down the next step, getting your clarifications answered. Okay, so these three steps are important. Okay, Abhi, still the work is not ready for getting started for development. You have to finish these phases before you actually code. So once you do these three steps, okay, then comes, okay, this is how, as juniors of the system, you need to share your understanding with your team members now. Okay, this is how I understand, and how are you planning to develop it? Nothing but your approach, you need to discuss it with your seniors. Okay, maybe there will be a technical lead or whoever is the senior person who is going to do your code review or stuff like that. You need to discuss with him, okay, this is my understanding and this is how I'm planning to develop it. Okay, nothing but maybe I'll write an interface here, I'll write a class here, this is where my logic will be, this is how like from this database I will pick up this value, you process it like this, then I'll do that. Nothing but whatever is the requirement, how will you actually code it? You need to discuss that approach with your technical lead or whoever is going to do your code review. Okay, so write down the next step is, okay, sharing your understanding on requirement. Guys, follow all these steps very carefully. You will find everything will be going like awesome. Sharing your requirement, sharing your understanding with your technical lead. Okay, sharing your understanding with your technical lead and discussing the approach. Okay, okay. Once this is done, if there is any problem in the approach, he already tells it. Now, once all these things are done,
Sorry, your screen is stuck.
hello team. Yeah, some internet blip happened. Okay, so fine. So where were we? So once we finalize our stream, okay, so once we finalize our approach, then you start with the development. Okay, so far clear? Everybody is with me, right? Apply that, and as junior you should do this more aggressively, because misunderstanding chances are more when you are beginner in the industry. Okay, with senior you get some understanding automatically. Okay, now Now, while it is being developed, okay, you should try to get your code reviewed multiple times. So it will be completely up to your lead, but what we do is on a daily basis, we ask for doing the code review, but different teams will have different thing. So you need to get your code reviewed on a regular basis, not like take 3 days and then verify one shot, because if it asks for rework, it is going to be a problem. So the code review should happen very frequently. Okay, that's it. You just apply that as the starting point of your any work that you take. These steps are very important. Okay, any step not done properly will cause a lot of problems in future. If the requirements are not written, understanding will be wrong, you will develop something wrong. If the approach is not clear, you will code something, spend a lot of time, and then somebody will say this is not right and do all those other things. So these steps are the core pillar for any project that you take, and don't miss it. No matter what is happening, don't compromise on this. Your life will be really getting very hectic otherwise. Okay. Now the second tip additionally I'll give is ki install. Okay, one, there is a tool, some of you might already know that there is a sonar tool, SONAR, sonar. Okay, it's a freely available tool. It has free version, commercial bhi hai, but with Eclipse there is a plugin of sonar also available. So if you are a developer, you can take a free Eclipse plugin, and already while you are practicing right now, install this sonar plugin in your Eclipse and then do the coding. Okay, the reason being ki industry people have identified some of the standards in coding. Okay, and not just formatting standards, it's like best coding practices, like how to do looping, how to like security related rules will be there, a lot of rules. Okay, so yes, in your Eclipse sonar lint plugin, the full name is sonar lint in Eclipse. Okay, and the thing is, install that and apply this in your project and code it on a day-to-day basis. Whenever you do the code, this tool will be scanning your project and it will keep suggesting you the best practices. And I think that's the very easiest way to learn something. Okay, now whether your project mates mandatory or not, but you make it mandatory for yourself. Any project that you code starting tomorrow, okay, install this sonar lint plugin and work with it. Okay, SONAR LINT, sonar lint. Okay, and it will scan your code while you're typing. It will suggest you what's wrong, what's right, and it gives you the explanation also. Okay, why it is suggesting it is not right, and then even suggestion will automatically. You will realize the more you habituate to this kind of a coding, you will start writing better code. Okay, so and once that happens, and these things cannot be taught, or like otherwise you will always create messy code. Okay, so apply this tool kind of a sonar lint. Okay, now the thing comes is, I would highly encourage for automation. Okay, so for many projects it is not very full-fledged in place, but we would highly encourage every project should have automation, and it includes both sides. For developers, unit testing is the thing. So many people struggle with really applying this, but as the projects become mature, this becomes mandatory. If you apply application, okay, it might take double the time of your development. Let's say development is 2 days. Sometimes for doing unit testing, it might take 2 more days. So 4 days of work ho jayega. Okay, that is where it's not always happening, because client will be like, why are you taking double the time? Our features are less. But if you really know the value of that, okay, it becomes key. Once you write a code, this code will be protected by these unit testing. It's one-time effort. You deploy it in production. Even after 6 months, somebody touches this code, and if it is not matching any of these use cases, that means it is breaking somewhere in the system. So the power of unit testing is, once you write a code, and this unit testing will ensure that your code is always intact. If in future this code is modified, let's say somebody else wants to have new requirements based upon this code, so it will be not matching with earlier written unit testing, then you will realize, oh, I have made modifications in the code which is breaking some existing system. That's the power of unit testing. That's where it is mandatory, because nowadays the projects will run for 2 years, 5 years. Now देखो क्या होता है, let's say right now I'm a developer of my team. I have written some code and some functionality. Let's say in future, after 2 years, let's say I have left my organization and you are going in this project. If let's say somebody will say, "Oh, that is an existing method, you can use it for your application. Why to every time write code from scratch? There is existing method." And if you go to that existing method and you realize, oh, the method works properly, but I have to do some modification. If you don't check the impact to the existing system and make the modification, some other functionality will break. And that's one of the reasons, because people don't know the system, that is where they start writing new and new code every time. And it becomes very tough for maintenance. That is where big projects, like projects running 5 years, 10 years, itna code rahega, and duplicate code, because nobody knows the existing system kahan hai, and you don't want to touch that old code. So such kind of systems can be protected with unit testing. When you want to reuse the pieces, you write the code once, you write a proper unit testing for that. So in future, even after 10 years, somebody modifies that code, if it is breaking existing system, these unit testing cases will fail. And then you realize, oh, I have made some modification, I have to make it compatible with the new changes and old. Okay, so okay, some of you guys के लिए काफी कुछ bouncer गया रहेगा, भाई क्या बात चल रही है ये सब. Okay, so okay, Nikhil is saying कि unit testing and actual code, which one is written first or both at the same time? Because different people have different. There is a test-driven development approach. Multiple theory is a lot, but practically what I do is first I write the actual code, and once the actual code is written, after that I write the unit testing, and once these two things are done, then we give it to the testers. Okay, so functional development, then covering the code, and then giving it to the testers. And you have to verify it always with the code coverage tool like Jcoco plugins and all that will be there. So with that, you verify that you have already done it. Okay, some of you guys who are beginners, thoda bouncer gaya rahega, but just take the conclusion. Okay, unit testing has a very big value for the systems which will run for a long time. Okay, it is a kind of the that future may you cannot impact by code breaking will not happen. Okay, so just understand, unit testing is supposed to be mandatory, but it is tough because it will take double the time of development and customer wants the features quickly. So now this is where the trade-off and the confusion happens. Okay, so understand the value of it and then try to include it in the system. So if you make it a regular practice right from today to learn that and even work on a regular basis, you will be counted very valuable. Okay, but yeah, so understand that. Okay, so Sonar, which will be helping you for static code analysis. Okay, you write static code nice and clean. With unit testing, automatically the code will start protecting itself. It is a form of automation. Whenever you build it, that unit testing will run and it will tell whether it's breaking or not breaking. So a lot of things will be safe and as part of that itself. So these few, if you include it, you will already start working in a very mature manner in your coding. Okay, and other thing is, like, the more experience you get on the project, you need to discuss and get that through. Okay, matlab maturity will come once you start dealing with the project, discussions with people and stuff like that. Okay, so fine. So this is how you should always work on a day-to-day basis. Get clarity, then code, get your work reviewed, and then deploy it to the QA. And while doing the development, use this Sonar unit testing on a regular basis, and then do that additional learning time, and you will automatically start growing as a IT professional. Okay, not doing it, say, if your life flat chalte rehti. Okay, fine. Now, so far good, right? So you can take some just pointers. Unit testing, try to apply it mandatory. It takes double the time. That's where many projects will not have it. Okay, but it is good to have always. Okay, and the next one is Sonar, to apply these two things on a regular basis. Okay, now the next one, understand this thing very properly. Some of you will like it, some of you will not, especially I'm talking to working people. Okay, so because in the beginning of my career I was not liking it and I used to feel like it's complete time waste, why do we need to care about all that? So okay, but yeah, I've seen them, I've grown in my industry, so I have understood more bigger things. So as a junior I was not having that maturity. Okay, now, and I want all you people to have the right mindset towards this right from the beginning of your career, so that you don't feel the pain of it. Okay, now what exactly happens, guys? Okay, just a minute. Yeah, let's understand this thing. the value of process in the IT industry. Okay, industry process, and any software will follow certain process for developing it. That is where the SDLC life cycle comes. Okay, sometimes the process becomes very strict. Okay, you will get into projects where Jira is used like to the hell. It will like kill you. It will be that narrow. Okay, for example, we spoke, right? The requirements will be given in Jira tool. Okay, so whenever this requirement comes in Jira tool, now there will be a lot of other terminologies. Don't get into details of all. Try to get the meaning of process, what we are trying to say. You would have to say how much time or time estimate this ticket is going to take for completing. Is it going to take 3 days, 4 days, 5 days? How much time, right? And there will be a field in Jira where you have to log this time, original estimate, like, okay, 4 days of work. So you can put it like 4 days. Okay, now your work has started. Now on a daily basis, how much time have you spent on this ticket? You have to log that time. It is called as time logging. Many projects it is not mandatory, but there is a need. People don't understand the reason. They feel it's a burden on us, we are being micromanaged, and that's like not having the big picture, basically. Okay, why all these things are. Okay, so then you have to spend, okay, today I spend, you say 4 days of estimation, that is fine, but today you got so much busy in many other work that you got only 3 hours to spend on this requirement. It happens a lot of times. It happens in industry. Production में something आ गया, you went there and you spend only 2 hours or 3 hours on this ticket. Now you have to come and by the end of the day log your time, that today I worked on this ticket only for 3 hours. So ideally, if it is 4 days of work today, 1 day should have happened, 8 hours should be logged, but you logged it only for 3 hours. It's not your fault. Production is something bombed, so you went there and you came. So people say that because I said 3, what will others think? Am I not working hard? And like wrong assumptions. Okay, be genuine, be honest. So like logging the time on a daily helps to ensure that even though today you did not spend time on the project, okay, even though today you did not spend time on the project, there will be some burn down charts which the scrum masters will be deriving, like, is the 2 weeks of work on track? So okay, if you have not spent enough time today, that means this feature will be delayed, and we need that data. So there will be some chart called as burn down chart which will be developed based upon this data which you log on a daily basis. So we can do something, your managers can do something to still meet the timeline. Okay, so it is required for successful completion of the project to log this time on a daily basis. Okay, now there will be many other things. Okay, in Jira you have to update, like for some projects they will even complicate, like on a daily basis keep commenting on Jira, assign this Jira ticket to a person. Let's say there is a tester. Okay, now process samjho yahan pe. There is a tester. Okay, the tester has found a bug. So let's say like Shruti is a tester. Abhi right now she's already doing manual testing. Okay, Shenu is a developer. So Shruti will do the testing. She will now go to Jira, file a bug with all the details and assign it to the name of Shenu. Okay, and now Shenu goes into his machine, he logs in into Jira, he sees that bug is assigned to me, and then he tries to read that bug, and then he tries to reproduce that bug, and then he sees, oh, this is a fix or not fix, and then he fixes it, then he applies the fix, and then he tells back to Shruti, okay, so I have fixed the bug, you retest it. Okay, nothing but all this can be very easily done without Jira. Shruti can just call Shenu. There is a chat tool already there. Shruti will call Shenu and say, hey Shenu, like this is a bug. I was expecting this in the functionality. It's not working like that. Can you fix it? Shenu immediately fixes it, makes it available. That means without tracking anything in Jira, still the project can be developed. And it will go live as well. And it will save you a lot of tracking time and all that. What will happen is Shruti should create a bug. It will need time for her to detail the bug. Then Shruti assigns to Shenu. Right now Shenu might be on leave. So wo bug gaya. Shenu should come back and he should revisit the bug. Nothing but yahan pe you get a feeling the process is actually slowing down things. This is how, as junior, I was like, this is all looking unnecessary. Let's do the actual work. Why logging and all those things required? This is how my mind was also working. It's all additional work rather than core coding and bug fixing. It is all additional work. I was not able to process it. But you know what happens? Okay, whatever the team is doing on a regular basis, okay, whatever the team is doing on a regular basis, if they log things in Jira, then only it is assumed to be valid. This is how the clients look at the progress. Okay, there has to be some way by which, let's say today a client logs in the system. I want to know that a 20-member team, what work they are doing right now. If they want to know that, what is the source of truth? If the detail on, and then what they will do, they will call your manager, the manager, nothing, but it will be a very messy system. Okay, so if the things are not tracked in Jira, it will become a very messy system. And because the clients want to know that information, who is working on what on a day-to-day basis, randomly they might come and check. And if the things are not available in Jira, the data is not going to be visible. Looks like internet is doing a lot of hiccups. Internet is doing a lot of hiccups. So let me plug in the LAN cable. Give a minute. Hello, is it back? Everything good? Hello, better?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है चलो. So this is the last topic. We'll just wind up in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, but just understand ki what happens is, if the things are not there in Jira, so we will not know at any given point of time who is working on what. Okay, and because that information will not be available, once a client told me, okay, so client is where who gives the money for people. Yeah, the billing, budget, everything comes from the client. Once he told me, "Dekh, Tausif, you have a good team, they're working nicely. But if there is no task in Jira against that person, we would assume that those people are not working." Okay. And if we are not seeing them working, we will not be able to bill for those people. Nothing but money will not come. Okay. So the entire financial flow happens based upon, okay, who has done how much work? And they are expected to have 8 hours of work. So there will be some clients, they will hold Jira as the evidence of work. Okay. And if there is no ticket for you on your name for a given sprint, people will draw a conclusion that guy has not even worked. Okay. This is one case. There were cases, okay, in my project experience, there were cases ki sometimes what happened is, किसी एक बंदे का प्रॉब्लम हो गया था, लाइक ही वाज क्विटिंग द कंपनी एंड देन कुछ डेट्स में इशू आ गया था. ठीक है. एंड सो आई डोंट नो एग्जैक्ट केस, अभी आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकलेक्ट, बट इट वाज लाइक ही ऑलरेडी क्विट इन द कंपनी and then there was some x amount of date, let's say 20 of February tak he worked on with us, and after that he was moved to another project somewhere. So now the clients were like, okay, we want to do billing for this guy. Now for doing the billing, till when did he work for us? And we were like, okay, we can tell a random date, but he was like, show me in Jira how much work has he done for this project, accordingly we will do the billing. Okay, so you need to understand, and billing money is why everything is happening, right? The project and everything is there for the sake of money. If you don't work on Jira, if you don't show that, okay, on a sprint by sprint basis, these are my tickets, and then I'm doing all that work, If Jira is not there, there is no track of who has done what. And if the track is not there, if it is just verbal communication, in a long run, like everybody will like, it would be a messy system. Okay, let's say you developed a feature right now. So what will we do? There will be a task created in Jira and then assigned to, let's say Alok is the developer, so assigned to Alok. Okay, now Alok has developed everything. Now let's say after 6 months, some changes needs to happen for that functionality. Where will we go? Who will know that Alok has developed? Because there will be like hundreds and thousands of features developed in 6 months, let's say. How will we know that that feature was developed by Alok? It's not practical to track. You can go to the commit history, but a lot of coding will happen. How can somebody find what it is? They will go to Jira, they will search for that task. They will see, okay, Alok was the developer at that time who developed this feature. So it's very much required to use Jira very effectively in your day-to-day work cycle for maintenance of your system. As a developer, it really gives a feeling that it's like consuming a lot of time. But let me tell you, not using it will have a lot of impacts on your system. There were some cases in my project, some seniors like told me, give me a report of what you guys worked in the past 1 year. Okay, sometimes for auditing might happen. So they are like, what did your 15 members team do for the last 1 year? I want a detailed report of that. It was good because we were tracking it on Jira. So then I was able to like go there, get the exports, and then say properly, these were our main features which we work. And Jira has that organizing epics and all that. So these were like 5 primary epics. These were the features of that. These were the people who were working on that. We were able to give this data. So I want you guys, whether you like it or not, start liking processes. Because if you don't like it, it will cause problems for you and it will cause problems for your system. It takes somewhat extra time to track it, but tracking that will be helping you, because you can say, let's say for appraisal discussion, your manager say, hey, you were not working on good projects. You did not do some great work. Then you can just go back to Jira and like, hey, per sprint wise, I was doing so many tickets and it was always there. I got never any bug on my name. Now, how can you say that I'm not working good? So Jira itself will become evidence. You know, this entire law system, right? Proofs. So Jira will become a proof that you are a good resource. Verbally, even if you are a best resource, without evidence, it doesn't matter. Okay. And don't be at the sake of just verbal conversation. Jira will become evidence. If you're a good person, Jira is evidence of that. If you're a bad person, Jira is evidence of that. So let's say as a developer, you have done bad quality work. There will be like 10 bugs on your name. So Jira becomes evidence of that. Hey, that person ko 10 bug mile to minus score karte isko. But if you are good, you can show that, hey, I did not get any bug for my last 5 sprints, only like 3 bugs. That means you are a good quality developer. So all this information can come from process only. And I want you guys to like it because it is required for business. Without process, the projects do not have value. Okay. And that is where your seniors will push you, okay, why do it, because business value will be there only when they see this kind of rotation and movement in Jira. And the sooner you understand, the better. Once you accept it, it will not hurt you. Many people in IT struggling because they don't like processes. They are like, it's unnecessary and all that. Okay, because of that, people are struggling. So I want you to change your mindset and accept it. Fine, it is required for business. And as you grow in your career, you will feel the need of that even more, because then you will see the other side of the game, why it is important. But whether you get that maturity or not, right now, I already want you people to understand that. Okay, so just take the last note key, understand your process and adapt to the process. Okay, understand to the process and adapt to the process. Just know it, just as a conclusion, take it, it's needed for the business. Whether you like it or not, it's needed for the business. So accept it and adapt with that, it's required. Okay. And the last thing is, you might have heard this saying, okay, Hindi ka saying hai, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. Yeah, some of you might have heard it, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai. So okay, it's nothing but you need to have an additional skill. You should have a talent of showcasing yourself at work. Okay. Otherwise, you will end up doing a lot of hard work, and you will find in the IT somebody else can take your entire credit of your work. Okay. So you need to protect yourself in the industry. Okay. So how can that happen? You have to do things by which your name will be popping up. If you don't do any special things, you will disappear in the IT crowd. And if people don't know you, you will not be given more opportunities. So you need to do things which makes you special, which makes you recognized. It will need additional efforts to do that. Okay, that is what is, you need to have the skill to showcase yourself. Okay, now it's completely open. You have to come up with ideas, techniques, how to showcase yourself, but your name should be popping up. Okay, and time pass cheezon ke liye nahi, for example, arranging a tea party, I'm doing the kaam ki cheezon ke liye. You should put efforts on things which really value. Okay, for example, you take an initiative. So because we said every weekend 4 hours of learning, you learn something new a week. Okay, apply, see it in your project. Is there an application of that? Do some 2 weeks of study nicely. So 8 hours you are putting, trying to compare with your project. Reach out to your manager. Okay, I want to, like, can I take a session, because in our project we can really apply this change and it will add a lot of value to the project. Maybe a different way of coding something, or using a new tool altogether which will help you in your projects. So when you're doing these additional things, you can really convert it to the value. And then you propose it to your manager. Hey, I want to take a session and guide all the team members so that we can develop it like this. It will be like more improvement on the project. And then the manager will then arrange a session for you. And then you go take the team together and do it. This is nothing but a kind of showcase. It was not required. If you don't do, nothing will happen. But if you do this, what will happen? There will be email meetings set up. You will drop an email with the details, what we are going to discuss as part of that. You can loop in all the seniors required. You pull entire team. They know that, okay, there is a person so and so who has done something, self-initiative. Automatic value बढ़ता है. If you don't do it, you become part of the crowd. So you need to do things which makes you special at work, not just your day-to-day job. Because in the end, these people, outstanding names will be counted. Okay? And then you go back, then you help others, and then you train them. And then when they come back with the doubt, do that. So you can make it a regular habit to take up some learning courses, improvements for the project. Okay. So that could be just one initiative. The second initiative, including some open sources, okay, or like telling, hey, we need to work on a better, we need to introduce more standards in the system. Focus on design aspect of the system. Go in, get in touch with your manager. Okay, there is a scope, like we have to make our application modular. We need to introduce more microservices. We need to go to cloud. Once you have knowledge, that knowledge can be converted into results, and then you will get special recognition. So वो recognize करवाना पड़ेगा. Okay, and talk to the right people. मतलब up the hierarchy. Talk to the right people who can really create opportunities for you. You have to keep showcasing that you do things extraordinary in front of those people. Whenever a complicated project is done, okay, sometimes you're doing a task, it's a very complicated task. Just keep dropping messages to somebody, your senior. Hey, last time we did this project, it was really interesting, and our team finished it like in 2 days. Okay, you know, like I have grown in my career so much because I was technically good, communication wise good, and I was able to showcase growth. So because of all these things, I was always in the mind of the people, because I was showcasing progress. And there is one trick in showcasing. You need to highlight success more than failures. If you're highlighting too much of failures, okay, the project is struggling here, we are not able to meet the timeline, the clients are complaining, that kind of showcasing will be like, you are useless. So when those problem comes, you first fix the problems. Okay, let's say the code quality is not good, production mein there are bugs coming. You first fix those problems and then arrange some special meeting. reach out to your seniors and say, hey, the production was like this, but now we made it working stable and now it is doing so much good. Drop some email to looping all the people in and just create value there. तो ये like अच्छा, तो there is a Tausif, उसने projection बहुत खराब project था and he made it work nicely with the team, automatically recognition will come. So do something special and positive and publish that in emails, in chats, in calls, and gain more value for who you are and your team. And if you keep doing it very regularly in the industry, you will be given more opportunities by the industry. And if you don't do that, you will just become part of crowd. Okay. And apply that every single day of your life and you will find results. Many people are like, nahi, why should I do all that? Don't get into all those mindsets. It's required. ठीक है. बहुत लोग बोलते नहीं, if I'm so great, others should recognize by default, I'm putting so much efforts. It doesn't work like that. Everybody is busy in their own life. People have their own problems. You need to go outside the bracket to showcase that you have done great work for the team. Okay. And actually I was watching through some interview of a very big businessman. He says ki bhai, successful, you can become successful just with two things. One is do hard work and great work, and second, showcase it to the world that you're doing hard work and great work. You need to market yourself. So first be great and then tell to the world that you are great. Okay. Then the people will realize that you are great and then opportunities will be created. So that's how people are. Everybody is busy in their life, so they will be like stuck with them. So apply this. So keep publishing, arranging additional meetings, doing something more value add for your team, and then taking it to the next level. You can make it a day by day habit, month by month habit, and you will realize that when you have done it long enough, people will already start recognizing you. And do things beyond your teams also. It will add more value. Sometimes go outside the bracket, help some other teams. That will increase your knowledge, that will make you known to other managers also. Try to reach out to this up the hierarchy. So you should not just have links in the company with your level and juniors, but you need to have links with the top hierarchy. Okay? So maybe with the HRs, maybe with the managers of 3-4 teams. ऐसे just कुछ ना कुछ करके guys, think smart and create opportunities for yourself. Okay? And the more you do it, the more possibilities it will happen. Okay? If other teams managers also know you, so they will be like, अरे तौसिफ को हमको दे दे. Okay, if they don't know you, they will never ask for you. Okay, I'll tell you one thing, ki because of this thing, I've been like, automatically people say, right, luck ban jata hai. Okay, the point is, if you do the right things, things will happen automatically for you. Okay, like there was a case, I was expecting appraisal cycle, something was happening, and my turn for appraisal came. And then I asked for some X amount. Okay, many years back story. I asked for some X amount. And at that time, whoever was my manager, he said, okay, whatever I was asking, he added 2 to 3 lakhs extra in that and said, okay, Tausif, you take this. Okay. So nothing but when you do good, other people recognize it even beyond what you can judge yourself, and you get more. Once I was switching a project and I was like switching a company. So at that time, okay, I was getting job without even giving interviews, just based upon reference. Okay, because I was having good relationships with my managers, and not like that relationship ke khali goody goody wala. I was really a good person at work, and I was showcasing that. So that created more opportunities for me. I was able to switch job without any interviews. And my manager, because my manager were calling them and saying ke Tausif hai na, le kar lega, bahut acha kaam. So that positive recognition, that's it, that recommendation. And others, I even got like jobs in other companies. I got allocated to other projects without giving interviews, while other people were being rejected. It's because who you become and what recognition and value you create for yourself, and then internally these things will keep happening for you. Okay, so understand this today's session. IT is not just about hard working. It is about smart working. It is about growing beyond the expectation. It is about taking the team together and growing together. Okay, it is about following the process. It is about like learning new things, applying it in the system, and then it is about showcasing it. Okay, so when you do all of these things, then you get more value in whoever you are. Okay, So, and this everything, whatever I spoke, it's like after a lot of like 12 years of my experience, after seeing and interviewing so many people, so many juniors, I have led people at every scale. After all this, I'm saying if you just apply this, you will find a lot of value will come in your lives. ठीक है. और ये सीखने के लिए काफी टाइम लगता है, तो really take everything whatever we discussed and just apply blindly, and you will find value in that. And experiment it. Some things maybe you might have to tweak it at your level. So be smart enough. Some things is working, something not working, change it. Don't take all these things like a thumb rule ke aise hi karna hai. But don't discard any of the idea. You have made some notes about it, experiment it, apply it, and right from tomorrow, try to see how you can gain more advantage of your current team, more opportunities of how you can do it. What can you improve in the current system? If you have not done it already, have a call with your managers tomorrow itself. What is my expectation? And identify what should be your next level, and then grow in that direction. Showcase it to the manager. Let the engine start. And whatever we learned today, if you start implementing it in 6 months, बहुत कुछ improvement होगा. And not just your manager, be in the good books of other teams' managers also. Because when crisis comes, they are going to pull for you. They will fight for you. If you are good, people will expect, like they will demand, we want him, we want him. So be good and create your own value. Industry will just make way for you in that case. Okay, and that's how it works. And it will go like, if you are even thinking of leaving the company, people will be like, nahi jaane denge, okay? You'll be like paid more and beyond everything. So that will happen if you're really that great person. Okay. So thank you all the very best. Apply it, and tomorrow we are going to discuss on the next related topics of the course. Main important, how to bounce back from low performance. There will be life may high times, low times, so bouncing back from low performance. And we will even be discussing about some like politics which happens in the company, and like small dirty games also happen. So some basic things which will help you as a guide to overcome all those things. Okay, so let's see. So tomorrow 9 p.m. we will be connecting back with the day 3. And yes, tomorrow morning 6 a.m. we will be having the meditation session as well. Okay, so thank you all. Apply and have a great life, guys.